I'm joined now by Brian O'Riordan, Lely Country Manager, and I'm joined also by three dairy farmers. We have Philip Walsh from Kilkenny, Conor Maloney from Tipperary, and Alan Stephenson from Laois, who are all embracing technology. So Brian, if I could just come to you first, there's been a major increase in robotic milking systems across the country, but it's not just that, just automation levels in general are increasing on dairy farms. What about the demographic that's really embracing that technology? Is it new entrants or is it those more traditional farming systems?
Yeah, we have a lot of uptake across every demographic, but I think the primary demographic would be people with young families who are just looking for a small bit more extra time and maybe displacing the labourers. We're looking at people who are growing their businesses that have problems getting labour in the marketplace at the moment. We're trending towards full employment, and we have a problem with labour in terms of the amount of available labour, the quality of available labour. Also, we see older people getting in also that they're not as afraid of technology as they used to be. They see people around the country getting on very well with robotics, and they're looking maybe in some instances to prolong their dairying career. You know, maybe they have a hip replacement problem, or joint problems with their knees, and they're just seeing, they like cows, they like milking cows, and this is a way to prolong their career. So every demographic we're appealing to.
And just in terms, I suppose, of the herd size that are moving in that direction, generally is it farmers with maybe 400 or 500 cows, or 80 to 100 cows that are really moving that way? Again,
across the spectrum of farms, I mean, we've for 60 cow herds, plenty of 60 cow herds, 120, 180, we've cows up to 300 cow herds, So I think our largest installation at the moment is I think we've a 6-robot grazing installation just started up with another 6-robot installation in County Louth, and they're doing very, very well. So it can suit any type of herd, and it's a modular system. So you can start small and you can grow your business with Lely. So you can just add another robot to the system, and you're not only buying your milking equipment, but you're forward purchasing your labour also. So it's a great,
I suppose those points are really well demonstrated by the three farmers we have here on the panel today. You all have embraced the technology at different stages. Philip, you got into it about 3 years ago. Why did you decide to make the move?
So previously we were milking in a 10-unit herring-bull parlour. I was also working off farm, and my father was, I suppose, coming near retirement. So we decided to go for robotics. It was just flexibility of time when I'm working full-time, And I suppose after coming home from work, the last thing you want to do is put an apron on and get into a milking parlour pit.
It's working well for you?
Yeah, it's working brilliant for us.
Where do you see the main advantages?
The main advantage is just time and flexibility, and also reduced amount of labour. And we also don't need to depend on any off-farm labour. So for example, today, we're going to be back home probably tonight around 9 o'clock, and we'll have nothing to do, only change one wire, and the cows be all cared for all day, to be milked. If there's any problems with any cows, health issues, they'll be there held in the shed in a drafting unit.
And Alan, I'll just go to you there at the end first. Alan, you adopted the technology about a year and a half ago or so. Is that right? And
yes, that's correct. About 18 months ago, yes.
And why did you make the move?
Well, I suppose it was a decision surrounding labour and lifestyle. I probably needed a little bit of help, and I was concerned I wasn't going to get regular help all the time, or the correct fella all the time. So I looked at a lot of options, and I felt that the robotic system would mean I could do the work myself and let the robots do the milking.
Okay, and I'll just pass that also then to Conor. What about the lifestyle impact? You just brought in robots there about
this February.
This February. So what is the lifestyle?
Yeah, the
impact?
lifestyle.
Do you want to use the microphone there?
The lifestyle is very. We noticed on a Sunday, it's very, very different. You have a Sunday back to yourself. Half an hour, 3/4 an hour on a Sunday morning. You clean the lasers, maybe move a wire, change the milk filters, and basically the day is your own. And now you have to go back Sunday evening to just change filters again, maybe clean the lasers and move a wire again. But you're not tied to a certain time. Like we'd be very keen GAA fans and we'd attend a lot of matches and we have time to get away and you're not rushing back to milk. You know that the cows are working away themselves and you know, you have a life again. That's the important thing about it.
That's great. Thank you very much. And just back to yourself, Brian, just in terms of, I suppose, Lely and what's coming down the lines with yourselves, where do you see the next, where's the next technology going?
Well, Lely are always a way to make farmers' life easier and to look for new innovation. And Alexander van der Lely, who owns the company, says like true innovation is to solve problems that people don't realise they have yet. So I think our next innovations is going to be through manure, cow manure, slurry, on-farm processing, all that kind of stuff, completing the circle around the cow. So like we're always innovating. At the moment we're innovating feeding systems for cows, so we got the Lely vector feeding system that's on display at the moment. So it's a robotic feeding system, so it's fully autonomous and it feeds your cows, diet-fed cows, feeds them as and when they need it. So it frees up again time for the farmer, flexibility, but also when you think of automation, you must also think consistency. Any industry that automates, they automate to deliver a consistent result. So it's either a perfectly milked cow or a perfectly fed cow, but it's all about consistency.
Because really that's where it's going, isn't it? Down the line, even in terms of, I suppose, meeting our climate targets, and there's more pressure there on emissions and efficiencies on farm. Technology is really going to be a key player in the future of farming in Ireland.
Exactly. I mean, our latest robot now is the astronaut. It's the A5, and it's a hybrid arm, so it works on electricity and air. So we're very conscious about renewable resources. Our diet feeding vector runs on electricity. All our scraping systems run on very, very low quantities of electricity compared to conventional systems. So we're really conscious about the green agenda. We're conscious of farming at the moment. It's a very the consumer is looking at what we're doing, about the practices we use, and Lely, it's about cow health, about efficiency, about a clean environment. That's what we're into.
Just for the panelists there, obviously the Lely technology has improved your lifestyles. You've all mentioned that. Is it something you're going to stick with now? Or are you going to look at other areas where you can bring technology onto the farm to improve not only your lifestyle but your output? I'll go to yourself there, Philip.
Yeah, so we put in our first robot in 2017 to help, I suppose, the labour shortage on our farm, and we were milking 85 cows prior to that. So like now we're actually installing our second robot in January, and we're also installing a Lely feed pusher to keep feed shoved into the feed barrier. So shove in feed every hour, day and night. So that's another short labour advantage.
And yourselves?
Yeah, we're looking at installing possibly a calf feeder for next spring to automate the calf rearing and just make take a bit of pressure off us at that time of the year, because it can be a very busy time in dairy farms.
And yourself?
Yeah, like Conor, I'm interested in the automation of the calf feeding, and of course the little scraper, scraping the yard and keeping the yards clean. It's something that when you come out, it's done for you. That's very attractive. That you don't have to look after that yourself. You can concentrate on your cow management.
Well, look, thank you all very much for being here today, and technology is something that we're very in favour of here in Agriland as well. So thanks for joining us for the live stream. There is more coming up just after this.